Hello my dear students, once again welcome back to your online class, and I believe that you all have completed your chemistry's chapter 1 exercises. So now it's time for us to begin the second chapter of your chemistry textbook. If you look into the chapter, the second chapter is about the changes, especially about the physical and chemical change. Okay, so the chapter's name is the physical and the chemical change. Now coming to this word change, so from morning till the time we wake up till we sleep, we see many changes. Okay, like the sun rises, the sun sets, okay, you go to school or you go to tuitions or your parents goes to school, they come back. So all of them, they are changes. And if you notice, few of the changes, they are permanent in nature, and few of them, they are temporary in nature, just like the sun rising. Okay, so today morning the sun rises, but it doesn't mean that tomorrow it won't rise. Okay, tomorrow also it will rise. Okay, so those changes are the physical changes. And chemical changes, for example, your mother cooks food. Okay, once the food is cooked, it cannot be reversed now. So that is a chemical change. So now apart from these two kind of changes, physical and chemical changes, the changes also can be categorized as a slow change and a fast change. The changes can be categorized as a reversible and irreversible changes. If you go into your book, you will see in details. So please follow your book as well when you look into the video. It can also be classified as a periodic and non-periodic. Some changes are desirable and some are undesirable, and some are physical and some are chemical. So you may be well acquainted with all of these kind of changes. Like for example, the desirable changes is like when we wash a cloth, we want it to get dried soon. So that is a desirable change. Undesirable changes are like earthquake. Okay, so the earthquake, the cyclones, they are undesirable changes. Now example of periodic changes and non-periodic changes is the periodic change is the rising of the sun. Every day the sun rises in the morning, but there are some changes which are non-periodic, like drinking of a water. We do not drink water at a regular period of time, for most of us. Some changes are a fast change and a slow change. For example, the fast change, like when we burn a matchstick, it's a very fast change, and a slow change is the growing of a tree or growing of a human being. It's also a slow change because it doesn't happen over a night. Now coming especially to the topic physical and the chemical changes. So what is a physical change? So the physical changes are the one which are temporary in nature. Okay, and then the physical changes are the one which are also reversible. Okay, and in physical changes no new substances are formed. Okay, but whereas in chemical changes they are permanent in nature, and then they are irreversible. Okay, so that means it is not a reversible. And then in a chemical changes, the new substances are formed. For example, of a chemical change is a burning of a paper. When we burn paper, we get a different compound which is known as a ash, which is black in color. And then also during a chemical changes, there is the exchange of energy as well. But whereas in a physical changes, there is no exchange of energies. So it's a very simple chapter. You can go through your book. The main thing here is to write down the characteristics of a physical change and a chemical change, and as well as the differentiate between a physical change and a chemical change. And another important topic in this chapter is the evaporation. Okay, so which we had already learned in the previous chapter as well. So evaporation is a process in which the solid changes into the liquid at any temperature, and we had also already discussed about the factors on which the rate of evaporation depends. So it depends upon the first being, what was that? It was the surface area. Greater is the surface area, the faster is the rate of evaporation. It also depends upon the nature of the liquid, it depends upon the temperature, and finally it depends upon the humidity. Okay, so this is all about the second chapter in physical and chemical changes. So dear students, please go through the books in detail, learn the difference between a physical change and a chemical change, and the characteristics of physical change and as well as chemical change. And finally, the most important is the evaporation and the factors on which the rate of evaporation depends. So you go through a book, and if you face any problem in understanding any of the topic, please, you are always welcome to ask me in my WhatsApp number. So in the next class, maybe most probably we'll have a virtual class, and then we'll be discussing about the questions and answers. So till then, watch this video and know what is a physical and a chemical change. Thank you.